Good morning, everybody. We have a mostly higher trade in the grain markets here early on Tuesday morning. It is 6:30 a.m. Central Time. May corn futures up 4.25 at 557.5. December corn is unchanged at 488.5. We have May soybeans up 10.5 cents at 1423.25. November beans are up 6.5 at 1275.5. May Chicago wheat down a half cent at 617.5. May Kansas City wheat down a half at 562.5. May spring wheat up 2 3/4 at 610.25. Couple of housekeeping notes here this morning, guys. Yesterday I did a video and a podcast episode with my friend Jordan Fife, who's an ethanol trader, and we talked about the ethanol situation here in the United States, and everything from what sort of demand for ethanol can we expect, driving habits, what sort of corn demand can we expect via the ethanol industry, as we move forward into a new marketing year, when we wrap up this current marketing year. And long story short, things actually appear to be pretty good. We've got some plants coming back online. There is definitely some optimism. So if you're somebody who's, say, putting together your corn balance sheets for 21-22, this is a must watch. Even if you're a farmer and you're just interested in perhaps what the demand base might look like next year, this is a must watch episode. And I understand that people are getting busy and don't have time to do this stuff, but the audio is available on the podcast, so certainly check that out. Remember, guys, if you're listening on the podcast, really appreciate it. Make sure you leave me a review if you have not already. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That would really help me out in regard to growing this channel. And if you need some additional help from me, go to my website. It is www.standardgrain.com. Click on Grain Marketing Plan here in the upper right-hand corner for $49 a month. I'll send you my morning email. I'll send you my text message service, all my subscriber-only content, which includes videos and all sorts of different stuff, any sort of consulting that you might need. This monthly subscription can be canceled at any time. It's billed to your credit card through PayPal, so certainly check that out. To get into the headlines here this morning, USDA released its first crop progress report of the calendar year yesterday. U.S. corn crop is 2% planted, right on pace with the 2% average. You've got some states that have some progress here. Texas is 55% complete as of Sunday. Places like Kansas, Missouri, Tennessee, North Carolina, 1 to 2% complete. No progress reported any further north than that. So your major big corn growing areas, your I states, those areas, no progress reported there. But we're getting going here, and the weather forecast actually looks conducive to some early planting, certainly. The U.S. spring wheat crop, 3% planted versus 2% on average. South Dakota is 11% planted versus 4% on average. Idaho and Washington, 16 and 14% complete, respectively. Most of the spring wheat being planted, as I've discussed before, is being planted in some sort of drought-stricken area. USDA said recently, I think it was still 78% of U.S. spring wheat areas are in some sort of drought phase here. So we've got some issues there, but planting could go very quickly because we're so dry. The U.S. winter wheat crop rated 53% good to excellent, behind the 62% that we saw at this point last year, but above the 52% average. Conditions, of course, have generally improved following these rain events in March over some of these key HRW wheat areas. The states to note that are still not really in that great a shape are Texas, Colorado, and South Dakota, and those are states that were just not really privy to that drought relief in March. The crop is 4% headed versus 3% on average. Corn shipments were strong again last week. USDA reported 1.912 million metric tons of corn shipped or inspected for shipment. That's about 75 million bushels. U.S. exporters have shipped 54% of what they've sold for the marketing year in corn. They've already sold 89% of their soybean sales. So you're really going to need to see corn shipments maintain strength here, really through the balance of the marketing year, which ends on August 31st, if we're going to, hit USDA targets and get everything that we've sold out the door. Brazilian soybean harvest, 78% complete, behind the 83% that we saw last year, but they're catching up. They're probably only a week behind. The data is accurate as of last Thursday. This is according to Ag Rural. The planting of the country's second corn crop in Brazil is essentially complete. Weather in Brazil is going to be drier than normal, mostly during the next 2 weeks. So that should allow for two things. You should see a quick completion to soybean harvest, but it could also be a detriment to the second corn crop, which is again done planting now, and they're going to need some rains in order to get some stands up and get things looking good. So kind of a double-edged sword there. The Chinese government reported another African swine fever outbreak this week. Again, this was another report of a smaller outbreak. 599 animals, 33 pigs infected, 6 died. This is different. It's different from what we've heard from non-government sources. We had the article, I believe it was in Reuters last week, talking about this big resurgence of ASF in some of the northern areas of China, and the Chinese government has not really told us that. They've had a handful of these smaller cases reported over the last, say, 3 or 4 months, but not anything on a real large scale. So kind of an interesting deal there. The cattle market had a good day yesterday. It was up triple digits in both the live cattle and in the feeder cattle. The hog market was a little bit lower. We continue to see some improved numbers in that feeder cattle index above 140 at yesterday's close. The box beef market was up sharply again yesterday, up $5.82 in the choice boxes, up $2.89 in the select boxes. So a big move up there. In the outside markets this morning, we've got the S&P down 8 points. The Dow is down 44. The S&P posted another all-time high close yesterday, all-time record high close yesterday. The precious metals are a little bit higher. U.S. dollars a little bit higher. Crude oil is up 95 cents at 59.61. And the May WTI bonds are a little bit higher this morning as well. If you guys would like some more information, shoot me an email, info@standardgrain.com. Everyone have a great day. I'll talk to you same time tomorrow.